Hello everyone. We have 619 viewer reviews stacked up. So hi YouTube. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think it's physically impossible to do 619 reviews properly. This is my okay, so those of you guys are watching on YouTube, right? Like backwards to hopefully, because I know some of you guys are posting this viewer review response is because you guys want me to see your build and you want me to react to it. And if I react to it for like 1 second, right? You'd be very upset. So I will need to apologize in advance that I will not be, if I happen to skip your build review really quickly, I don't want you to be upset. Okay, so in the beginning, I will need to address. I think it makes sense for me to address this in the beginning. That if I happen to review your build very quickly, not more responsibly, right? That's not don't hate me too much for it. Okay, I try my best, but I think it is very physically impossible to go over 619 responses in a short amount of time. Let's start, guys. Character 1447, great. So let's look at the stats. Spec Swift, nice. Sometimes when you guys work on tripods, having a full level 4 on a main DPS skill is actually better than having split off level 3s because the percentage increase actually adds up. So utilize your library to the fullest and then just get those main skills to level 4. Get those solid level 4s first, and then you can add level 3s later because level 3s is a 30% chance. So getting those level 4s at a library standard is actually better. It feels like you are aiming for something maybe like a barrage build, but not at the same time. So if you're doing a barrage build, this should be backwards. Firepower enhancement 1, and then you have barrage enhancement level 3, and then you go spec crit instead. If you're doing the barrage build, if you're doing the spamming swiftness build, you actually take off barrage. You don't need barrage, and same thing for the gems too. So it's one or the other. You use one or the other. That's like the meta build. If you guys are like higher on the weapon and get it on item level, get the 1460 armors at least. At least. That's like my suggestion. Like, I know you guys are mechanically good, but even if you're on item level, and if you're actually less on item level, taking more damage, you actually can't react to something, and then one mistake will kill you, and then it's not going to be very fun for you. Ether Predator is not a very good engraving as level 3. It seems like you've read the legendary Ether Predator for it, so it's interesting. This is the most interesting build I've ever seen. Instead of this Ether Predator, I would rather have Adrenaline. I'm pretty sure you didn't get the Adrenaline because it was expensive. So it seems like you got like a very cheap build to work on with the relic set. So it is still fine. It's fine, but you need Adrenaline. And then have the level 2 Spirit Absorption. That'd be better. That'd be way better in the future. This stuff doesn't really pass with Cuckoo and Broshaza. Because Ether Predator is not a very efficient engraving at level 3. It's an efficient engraving at level 1. You have a lot of swiftness and crit, which is nice. Energy overflow level 2. So I'm assuming you're aiming for... Oh, you're energy overflow to level 12 already. Because sometimes what people do, if I give you an advice, right? Some people read the legendary engraving. I mean, before reading the legendary engraving, they just put it as 9. And then they just keep spending money to read the legendary engraving to finish their 3 5s. That's a legitimate strategy. That's a legitimate investment. They just go, okay, so I'm just gonna read the legendary engraving later, but I'm gonna have 3 3 3 3 2. People do that. I thought that's what he did, but it was backwards. It was something else. On the poly bill, still working on the books. NAE's prices are killing me. So this is probably the thing I was talking about. Check this out. So your tripods are good. Work on that faith. Work on that faith. This faith is looking very weak over here. I'm assuming you went crit spec because the necklace was too expensive. Okay, I understand. But people are gonna be like, making that dance game face, and he's gonna kick you. But in NA, there's not that many supports, so they'll probably take you in. Engraving. So check this out. This is what I'm thinking over here. So people build assuming they have a legendary engraving. So if I look at this, oh wait, why is this level 2? Why is this level 2? If you look at here, he has 9 awakening and 9 blessed aura. So if you spend money every week buying those books, slowly, you will have a 3-5. So it is not a bad idea to build your build assuming you have a legendary engraving. It is not bad. I used to do that as well. Because you can only, because it saves peons. You don't want to buy accessories again, right? So you buy the accessory and then you buy the book later. That's like 240k worth of books he needs on NA East. Well, but he has a build. Which is fine. I don't think it's an issue. Deadeye. Nice. Spec crit. I want to see some of that Spirit Absorption. Nice. I was thinking of Spirit Absorption right here. So basically, if I think of a certain thing, and then you guys have it, you guys are in a good roll. Because I looked at this. I think you need Spirit Absorption. You have it, right? It's good. And I like that you have Ambush Master instead of Grudge. Like, so this is totally fine. So let me see the goal again. You want to do working for Valten hard. You can definitely beat Valten hard with this very easily. But just keep doing normal, getting your skills up, and I like your tripods as well. So you are in the right pace. You're on the right pace of enjoying the game for sure. Grudge Mayhem Master Attack Crystal. So again about Grudge, if you're just having a 4, I would have something like Raid Captain here because it's almost it's like 2% difference, but your vitality goes up so high. My friend, so this was recent too. If you have Grudge and on item level, you are guaranteed to die in 1 hit. If you're a Mayhem Berserker, because I've seen my friend die in 1 hit every time. And then he was actually experienced at Vicus. Like, is my raid friend who does Broshaza with me, right? He has an alt Mayhem Berserker, the old Mayhem Berserker, 1460. He had a Grudge. I think he had Grudge, Crystal, Mayhem, Master Tenacity, right? Grudge, Crystal, Mayhem, Master Tenacity, and Raid Captain. That's 5 3s, right? He got hit by the phase 1 dude's roundhouse kick. He straight up just died. Like, you can't. He was full HP. He died from full HP, and it just died. That will happen to you. I'm just warning you guys, because I've seen it recently too. And also you have a T2 rock. That means you have less HP. So that's my only warning to you, okay? You can have Grudge, but I highly recommend. So you can do Grudge with Mayhem because it will do more damage. However, I want you to 1-up your armor because you're going to be very, very devastated realizing that you died in 1 hit. It hurts, guys. Like Vicus hurts, man. Vicus raid, it hurts. It starts to hurt from there. So Bard, always focus on the melody increases. The melody increase, okay? That's your number 1 priority. Number 2 priority is your quick preps. Actually, someone might disagree with me, but to me, it's quick preps. You don't need any of this shit. The sound holic, all that stuff. You don't do damage with Bard anyway. So your shields, your melody increase, and your cooldown related stuff. Very important. At least that's what I think. Because that's what got you to do more shields, more heals, and more attack buff. You don't need combat readiness as level 2. Well, I mean, you can do it if you want to, but like, I'd rather have level 1 combat readiness and have like Spirit Absorption level 2. That's like so much better. Work on that slowly. Just work on that slowly. And Cursed All, even, I mean, Stabilized Stat is also fine, actually. It's a Cursed All. Looks good. Keep increasing your eye level and you're Gucci. He has legendary combat readiness is because it's cheap. No one reads legendary combat readiness. You want to see? It's 219 gold in Korea. No one fucking read this garbage ass engraving. Big fan, thank you. For the Gunslinger, I was hoping you were maybe ready for Vicus normal when it releases NA. This is not ready for Vicus NA because it's only 3. I'd rather be safe and have a 4-3 and a 1. If you want to do Vicus normal with this, I think it's not impossible. But don't be sad if people reject you. It's not bad, guys. I'm just saying, like, it's 3-3-3 and maybe like a solid 4. Like maybe like a solid 4 might be better. Your experience is going to be bad. That's what I'm worried about. I want you guys to have fun. I want the raids to feel challenging, not blatant butt fucked, you know? Like it's gonna get wrecked. I don't want that to happen. Just level up your armors. 1420 crit swiftness. Oh, your high swiftness loyal companion build. Holy shit, you have 5? Nice. You have a 10-5 stone? You go swiftness at 1300 and rest at crit. And more crit. Sharpshooter is an interesting class. More crit you have, the stronger you get, because his attack is straight up based on if you crit or not. That's why you also go keen blunt, because his stuff is always based on crit. You have high swiftness. You rather decrease swiftness a little bit, and if you go salvation and then you have high crit, you'll be able to do a lot of damage. But if you see a lot of white numbers because of if you adjust the relic accessories to give more crit, your bracelet in the future can give you that extra swiftness for you to be having the exact 1300 swiftness. This is the thing that I'm getting Stoops into. 1300 swiftness and rest on crit, and it should be about 1,000, right? And you go salvation, because salvation boosts up your damage really well for a combo skill. So he's going for that Stoops build. And this here would have level 1 on Adrenaline. No, so Stoops' build is not doomed. It's actually a legitimate build in Korea. It's just that higher ceiling is the Death Strike build. That's it. Artillerist, nice. You're almost there too. 1450. So you have spec, swiftness, and crit. I'm assuming you are going barrage build. You have the so Light of Salvation. If you don't have this, if you don't have the 6 set that converts your damage into light, don't use it. Just use Lost Wind Cliff. Oh, this is not barrage build. What? It's a 9-3 stone. Oh. Keen Blunt works because you have enough crit, spec. So, I think this is another problem for Artillerist, because Artillerist is a little bit hard. This mix-up stat, you want to transform and then do barrage damage, and you also want to do normal damage, right? You have to choose one or the other. You're actually better off having that level 3 barrage and then having level 1 fire enhancement. If you're doing just barrage, and then you have crit and a lot of spec. And Barricade is actually really hard to use as well as the Artillerist. Like, use it efficiently. So there's a lot to work on for you. Yeah, there's a lot to work on for you. I think it's either you gotta spam the normal skilled mode, or I like the wheelchair mode, the barrage mode. If you're going for the barrage mode, you want level 3 barrage and have level 1 firepower enhancement, and have, I don't know about Keen Blunt, but have something like Garage, and go something like Cursed Doll, right? and then have full spec, and then crit on necklace. That's actually a really good meta build, the wheelchair build. And it's good for Vehicus phase 3 because you're immune to the mechanic. Check this out. So I searched it just in case I wanted to search it out. I just googled the law stuff, right? Look, it's exactly the opposite. This is level 1, level 3, level 3, level 1. The difference is you go swiftness, right? And then this one went crit, and then even more on crit. So it really has no answer. But my point is, the barrage mode is actually really good. That means higher the spec, the better. It's not the crit stuff. So usually go spec crit, and then go level 3 on barrage, so that you're just focusing all your DPS on barrage mode. But if you're using the normal skill mode, which is not super popular anymore, you just do it that way. But the real end build is they go 3-3 on both of them, 3 and 3 on both of them. But you know, so yeah, so there's a lot to work on, but work slowly on it. Work slowly. Don't FOMO. Don't FOMO. I don't want you to FOMO, okay? But focus on one style. Search other people's builds on Loa, maybe the Korean builds, and then focus on that. You can't do both. You can't do both. As far as I know, for Artillerist, you can't do both. You have to choose one. And I think Barrage build is in the meta, so you should try out the Barrage build. It's actually really good. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Paladin, Expert Awakening Blessed Aura. Beyond that, it's no one really cares what you take, actually. So I rather, surprisingly, let me give you a tip. So surprisingly, if you go relics, 3-3-3, high swift, you're actually better off than having 4 engravings. But either way, if you just get the item level ready, you can go to Vicus. No one really cares what you do. As in, not you, as in all the supports. No one really cares. Having a support is just important in Vicus because they know they're gonna get hurt. First intention with Precision Dagger. You're worried about crit, huh? I don't think Precision Dagger works. Sorry. But if you switch to, when you switch to relics, just switch slowly. It's a rough build. But you know, these 3s are good. Maybe Adrenaline's better. So increase your eye level slowly. By the way, this can go to Valton, so don't cry. It's like, you know, don't feel sad if you're hearing me saying this, but change slowly. I want you to change slowly. Maybe add in Curse Stall if you want, or you know, anything else works, because yeah, I think you're just worried about having low crit. Like even Adrenaline works. A lot of stuff works. All right, you got a lot of swiftness, and you got less crit. So I'm assuming, so increased mass level 2 is a penalty. But let's see what he says. I'm a cheapo anything to make my build cost less. Let me give you a harsh fact. You go for the cheapo build, you save money, but you've actually wasted money because you spent peons. And the build is actually hurting negatively. So being cheap is actually not the best thing to do. Being efficiently cheap is better. For example, you want to buy the relic accessories. This is what happened. You try to increase something. You try to increase more percentage in the damage. That's why instead of going 3-3-3-3-1, right? You increased another one, jeopardizing your stats, and you have a negative engraving on you. Being cheap actually hurt you even if you spent more. It actually hurt you than spending. You actually spent less, and then it hurts you even more. This game is pretty tough in terms of that way, because if you try to save money, it actually hurts you. Then you actually spend, what do you call it? Like not spending it at all. Does that make sense? You made your build worse by spending money. If you try to save money, does that make sense? People do that sometimes. Even in Korea server, while going to relic accessories. let me give you an advice on cheap builds. If you want to make a cheap build, just have, if you're going for 4, so now we're going 5 engravings, right? Instead of 5 engravings, go 4. Go 3 instead of 2. Go 3 instead of 4. And then have a solid combat stats. So anyways, yeah. So this, I think you should work on. Removing this increased mass. Get that raid captain level 3. You have the precision dagger keen blunt, right? So that's fine. And then you put a little bit more on swiftness, and then you have mayhem level 1. Or you can have mayhem level 1. Mayhem level 3, master tenacity level 3, keen blunt level 3, and have a lot more crit and then less swiftness, and that's fine too. That's a solid 3-3-3. And then if you add another 3, you just add something like a raid captain or something. Magic. So you gotta work on some of your. Tripods, because you have magic amplification on your Doomsday, but you have final strike on your punishing strike. So, oh, okay. So it's a copy. You have magic amplification here. Yep. So it should be a casting sword. So this adrenaline might not be viable because your skill rotations are really slow, but you know that doesn't hurt to have one. If you try to figure it out. You can probably do it, but you might not be able to use this adrenaline efficiently. So instead, have something like an ether predator. It's pretty good. Ether predator is pretty good, guys. If you actually try to use him, as the fight gets longer, it's actually better. Dirty bard main here. 1454. It doesn't look dirty to me. 459. Disrespect. Vital point. So, Desperate Salvation, Awakening Expert, Disrespect, Vital Point. You don't have a heavy armor. It is a dirty bard. You gotta be on the floor all the time. Getting on the floor, get all the dirt on you, man. Yikes. So I would work on getting the heavy armor, at least 1. Doge. Doggerson. I really like these kind of players, man. You know they're having fun with the game. Swiftness 1289, 474. I think your swiftness is too low, and the reason why is because you try to get a 4-3. You know, go to Trixian, set your swiftness to 1289, and try out your skills, and then set your swiftness to 1500 or 1600. Then also use your skills at the same time. You will see a big difference. It's like a 1 or 2 second difference, and that's huge. So you know, but again, this is totally fine. No one's gonna care. But if you want to feel good with your paladin, if you want to feel good on the care, it's higher the swift always better. Higher swift the better. Higher swift. Oh, I did 150, guys. Guys, I can't do it anymore. I'm so tired. I'm so tired, dude. I'm so tired. I think, okay, look. Guys, I said I will review open this, and I said I will review everyone. It is disrespectful if someone gives me a build and then they're like excited. They're like excited for me to review their build, right? And if I don't do it, it's hurting, man. It's hurting. Whenever we have free time, I will keep reviewing more. I think that's better. Because the submission's closed, right? No, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. It's too feel like I'm gonna die. I'm tired. I don't usually say this, but I'm really tired because I use so much of my brain power at the daytime with Saint during that game. Dude, I didn't know that game was gonna be that long. I thought we were gonna finish at like 4 p.m. and then I was gonna, you know what, I'm gonna do a review after this, that kind of stuff, right? So